today we are going to do a tool called the fixed point theorem. This is actually a theorem from mathematics, but it applies to organizational dynamics quite well. The fixed point theorem says that however chaotic a transformation, there is always a fixed point, a point of invariance. Something remains unchanged. The fixed point theorem says you could make any kind of a chaotic transformation, you won't be able to avoid leaving something unchanged. Let me give you some examples. You know, we all have hair, well, most of us have hair, and the hair goes every which way in our head. Some people have very orderly hair, some people have kind of unruly hair, some days hairs are frizzy, some days hairs are not. But what is interesting is that if each piece of hair starts at some point and ends, however the shape of the hair is, at some other point on your head. It starts at some point, ends at another point. Another piece of hair starts at another point, ends at some other point. Interestingly enough, all of us on our head, all of us have a spot into which no hair goes. There is a spot, and it's absolutely required. We all have a spot into which no hair ends up. Hair only comes out of that spot. No hair goes into that spot. Now, we all know where that is. Most of us have it in the back of the head somewhere. Why is that? Mathematically required. Fixed point theorem. However chaotic a transformation might be, there is always a fixed point, a point of invariance. You know, if you were to create a piece of paper and draw a big 10 by 10 square and write the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and all, and have 100 numbers written down, and if you were to create another piece of paper right behind it, exactly with that, take the top and put them on the table, take the top piece of paper, crumple it, drop it on the bottom piece of paper. What the fixed point theorem guarantees is that there is some number that is sitting in this crumpled paper, some number in the crumpled paper is sitting right above that same number in the flat paper. Can't avoid it. Fixed point theorem. No matter how chaotic a transformation, there is always a fixed point, a point of invariance. I'll give you one more example before I move to the organizational application. If you were to take a tree, September, fall time, leaves are all nice and bright colored, you take the tree and you shake the tree and all the leaves fall down. There will be some leaf that falls precisely below where it hung on the tree. Can't avoid it. The fixed point theorem. No matter how chaotic a transformation, there is always a fixed point, a point of invariance. Now, how does that apply to organizational dynamics? You see, when you have change in the organization, when you have some chaotic change, people get very concerned. In fact, people don't like change. If you want to hear more about that, look up the tool called the law of inertia. People don't like change. So everybody is concerned. As a leader, what you can do is identify that fixed point, the point of invariance. No matter how chaotic your change in your organization, there are things in the organization that have not changed. There are points of invariance. You as a leader have a responsibility to highlight those points of invariance as a way of giving comfort to those that resist that change. Don't compromise on the change you are seeking, but elevate and acknowledge the invariance that you're preserving. And the fixed point theorem says there's always a point of invariance. The fixed point theorem, however chaotic a transformation, there is always a fixed point, a point of invariance.